5 there. Check 1.
Welcome everyone to Gary Berry Stadium for today's matchup. We're going to announce the defensive starters. First for the Cherry Creek Bruins, number 91, Chase Bragney. Number 96, Thomas Fisher. Number 21, Charles McKeever III. Number 8, Angelo Pedrides. Number 26, Sam Pizdertz. Number 12, Blake Purchase. Number 32, Ezrin Rice. Number 13, Maxwell Rodriguez. Number 9, Tyler Tolbert. Number 31, Braylon Warren. And number 58, Hank Zelinkas. Now announcing the defensive starters for your Doherty Spartans. Number 23 at corner, Javon Young. Number 1 at corner, JJ Felix. Number 12, free safety, Keyston Bazzi. Number 6, strong safety, Michael Tracy. Number 27, outside linebacker, Tyler O'Neill. Number 18, outside linebacker, Dylan Mercer. Number 22, inside linebacker, Brett Vaca. Number 54, inside linebacker, Micah Jacob. Number 70,
Check, 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 check.
Check, 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 check.
There we go. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a replenished Garry Berry Stadium. Your eyes are not deceiving you. If you are seeing a gray field with a large black circle at midfield. I am Barry Reed, the broadcast announcer for District 11, joined today by Brian Blanc.
Good afternoon.
Brian, we were opening the football season, and we've got the two-time defending state champions, 23-0. Their last loss was the state championship 3 years ago, to Valor Christian. They've been perfect ever since, and what a way for the Doherty Spartans to open.
It's going to be a real test for them today, Barry. They're going to have to come and get after it tonight.
And now the Doherty Navy JROTC color guard is on the field for the playing of our national anthem by the Doherty Band.
Color guard, commanded by Cadet Logan Hassel. The color guard is composed of lead rifle cadet William Rakes, U.S. flag and team commander Cadet Logan Hassel, Colorado State flag Cadet C.C. Westbrook, and trailing rifle Cadet Alexander Rakes. The national anthem is performed by the Doherty Spartan Legion Marching Band.
These teams getting ready to kick off the 21 season, Brian, and for Doherty, 1-5 last year in the COVID-shortened season. The win came the last week against the Liberty Lancers, which I think was a substitute game just to fill out the schedule, if I remember that. Right, and it was an ugly season leading up to that for the Spartans. Good news is Caden Becker is back at the quarterback. The junior will take the reins for his second year. We'll see what growth and maturity he brings to the table.
You know, and that's the thing, coming and moving into a new season here, he's going to have to put together some good football in order to bring the Spartans back to where they were against Liberty.
Well, when you look at the games in this series recently, the last 4 games have been all Cherry Creek. 4-0 in those games are the Bruins, but they lost the majority of their state championship team from a year ago. But one consistent, Coach Dave Logan and his coaching staff. Folks, those are that's a great starting place. Imagine a Bobby Knight or Coach K, and we are underway. And this ball is through the end zone. And so the Spartans will start on offense from the 20-yard line here. Max Smith, the sophomore, with the boot.
That's a pretty nice kick.
We always used to talk, Walt Johnson and I, about what a great weapon having a kicker that can get you a touchback every time, because it just adds field to the defense's back, which is a great play.
You know, when you have to go to a long field, it puts you in a precarious situation sometimes. We'll see what the Spartans have here.
Shotgun for Becker, and he throws it on the mitts and dropped. Headed for J.J. Felix, the junior, out of the slot. Just a quick little slant. Felix had room to run if he'd have been able to haul that one in.
He might have went for a while, Barry. That was wide open over the middle of the field. Look for the Spartans to come back to that play.
So 2nd and 10.
A nice little slant play.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. The one to the left is Latimer. Give it off on the right-hand side, and not much there. Maybe a yard gain. And that is Marquez Herrera, the junior, getting the start at running back. Last year, it was Dylan Mercer most of the time behind Caden Becker, and that was the 1-2 punch in the backfield. Becker, a big body, is listed as a backup this year, but then again, he plays full-time on defense, so
right, they're trying to move some personnel around to see if they can get some things going on defense as well.
This time Latimer spread to the right side, the short side of the field. Becker takes the snap under heavy pressure, and the first sack of the year. They will mark Becker back at the 11-yard line. And it will be
4th down and 19.
Or check that, 4th and 19.
Little linebacker blitz there for the Bruins. Got the sack. Puts a lot of pressure on that fullback back there when 2 are coming at you.
Looks like Dylan Mercer on to punt. Cooper Pollard, the junior, stands at the Doherty 40-yard line. Now a late substitution for the Spartans. And an ominous sign for the Spartans is that first drive loses yardage. And timeout Spartans, it looks like.
And we do have a flag on the play. They're going to give them the timeout and not the penalty.
Instead of the delay of game, they get the timeout. So the first for the Spartans on the first drive. Let's hope this isn't a precursor or harbinger for the rest of the game.
Right. And both teams obviously trying to come out and throw a punch. The Spartans tried to get over the middle. It was open just right off the fingertips. And then the sack by Cherry Creek. And that puts the Spartans in minus field position. So let's hope that isn't something that's going to happen for the rest of the game.
The change of momentum so sudden. So now we'll see our first look at the Spartans defense. See if we can get a good punt away. The wind is blowing from the south to the north. Kick is underway, takes a bounce about the 40 and skips out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. They'll mark it inside the 40 at the 39-yard line. So great field position for the Bruins. And with the start, Christian Hammond gets the call under center. His brother led the last 3 years of this offense for Dave Logan.
Like they're going trips right. Going to throw a little swing pass.
Completed and still on his feet. Ahead close to the 30. It'll be a gain of 7 down to the 31-yard line. Bring up a 2nd and 3.
You know, that goes to show how much tackling you got to get that first tackle.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
Injured Spartan on the far side.
Like Bazzi.
Bazzi Keyston is the injured Spartan over there. But what a difference. We go back to the first play for the Spartans. It was there, that completion, room to run up the field, but it falls incomplete. Boom, Cherry Creek hits the first play. Yeah, it's only a gain of 7, but it gives you positive momentum going into the second play in a short 3
Right,
yards.
it just gives you that confidence that, hey, we can gain yardage. And so, the momentum would have shifted the other way if Doherty would have completed that pass. So
Hammond under center, two receivers to the right, bring the one in motion, back, set the fullback. Give it straight up the middle. Breaking tackles right up the middle.
Cherry Creek number 28,
That is Sam Pesdirch, the senior.
It'll be Bruins ball, 1st and 10 from the 18.
First down, Bruins. 14-yard pickup.
the Spartans, Doherty's going to have to get a little more push up on that front line, Barry. There's, looked like Cherry Creek just came out and pushed them over. They got to get a little more push up there up front.
Mikey Smith, Joe Strempel, and Armando Solano, the front three for the Spartans. 1st and 10 from the 18. Hammond this time in the shotgun. Two receivers to the right, and there is a whistle going to be delay of game.
Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
And if anything's going to draw the ire of your coach at halftime, a mistake when things are going perfect.
From the 24-yard line.
And especially with the big game,
Looks like they're
play
going to
clocks.
out here. That Doherty thought it was a timeout, Barry, so they all went over to the sidelines. Now they're scrambling to get back on defense.
Pass out into the flat and a big hit. It'll go for a loss of 2.
That's J.J. Felix on that hit.
J.J. Felix, the intended receiver for Cherry Creek, was Cooper Pollard, the junior.
Doherty did a good job coming off the sideline, getting set in the defense to stop that play.
2nd and 12 now for the Bruins. Maybe that should be a new set for
Coach
Dwight
Hale.
Hale and the defensive staff. I mean, put the guys in motion. That's one way to do it, I guess.
Yeah,
2nd and 12, 2 receivers left for the Bruins. Hand it straight off the middle and through a big hole off the right-hand side. Still spinning, breaking tackles. Down to the 1-yard line, but short of the end zone. Gain of 20 on the play, but a
Brought down at the half-yard
short
line.
by half a
1st and goal for the
football at
Bruins.
the goal line.
Is that Keegan?
That was Keegan Hollis,
Keegan Hollis.
the senior.
He broke about 5 tackles trying to get to the end zone there. Doherty really has to wrap up.
Hollis in the backfield. Henry Lamar, the senior, on the wing side right. Receiver left, receiver right. And Dave Logan calls the timeout.
Charge timeout. Cherry Creek.
And that should be 2 for Cherry Creek if I'm...
Cherry
That was
first
Cherry
time
Creek's
out.
first
Comes
timeout.
at 7:24 of
Their first time out. Dave Logan must have seen something he didn't like. I couldn't tell if they were lined up wrong or he just saw something he didn't like. But I'm expecting a dive here, another dive.
The way they've been able
by
to
Hollis.
the way they've been able to power up the middle, I think you're going to be right. If it's working, why change it?
Yes. If it
But
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Brand new turf, just finished the install on it, and I think we might be able to see the first touchdown on the new turf and the first touchdown to open the 2021 season. Unfortunately, it'll be the Bruins, unless Doherty can come up with a stop here. Under center now. There is the give, and there is the stuff by the left side of that defense for the Spartans.
First down from
Driving
Logan.
Hollis back
Brings
a
up
yard.
2nd down and goal.
It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1. Great play by the left side of that Spartans D.
Right, and this is where your resilience come in. We'll see what the Spartans are made of right here. Can they get a stop and hold them to a field goal?
Second down and goal from the 1. Offset eye. And doing it himself is the quarterback, Holland. And just like that, 6:42 remains in the first, and the Bruins cash a short field after forcing a Doherty punt, and they lead 6-0. Kick is up and
It's
good.
The extra point is good. With 6:42 left in the first quarter, Cherry Creek takes a lead 7-0 over the Spartans.
So 7-0 is our score here midway through quarter number 1 at Garry Berry Stadium.
And if you haven't noticed, Barry's been talking about our refurbished stadium, our new turf. You get a shot right now of our new scoreboard that's up on the screen. You know, they've done a lot of improvements here at Garry Berry.
Over $2 million put into the new video board for the scoreboard, the track around the field. The new turf is down. There is another layer to go on the track, but they needed to get this first week in.
It's looking pretty nice.
And I've got a quick story. I was talking with Chris Knoll, the district athletic director, before the game, and he showed me a picture he took the other day. Bowden now with the kick, and his second kick will end up a touchback once again. Spartans will start at the 20. So Paige Bowden, no problem with the extra point and 2 touchbacks. Pretty good way to start 2021. But this new field, Chris Knoll is just the latest in a long line of district athletic directors going back to Garry L. Berry, who the stadium is named after.
Right.
From its inception in 1959. 5 previous athletic directors joined Chris. They wanted to see the new digs, and the result from the likes of Tom Faljean and Ron Neiswanger, trapped in the backfield and dropped. Ball came out, but they will rule it down. It'll be a loss of 4 back to the 16.
Loss of 4, second down 14 for the Spartans.
That was Thomas Fisher on the tackle for the Bruins.
He
But
came
it
right
was
up the
5
middle.
thumbs up from the Mark Baranek, Ron Neiswanger, Tom Faljean. Long time, we're talking going back 30, 40 years,
Sure.
folks, for athletic directors. And they loved the way the field looked. Going away from the traditional green field, going with the silver. Second and 14 now for the Spartans. Trips to the right. And delay of game. You can tell it's week 1. We've got a few too many delay of game penalties.
Right, they're taking a little too much time to get that play in and called and that ball snapped. So we'll see what they can get those fixed here in week 1. There's always a lot of penalties.
Second straight drive to open the season where Doherty is going the wrong direction. Becker looks, now has to tuck it on. And he will go get ahead for what he can.
Decker tackled after a gain of 2.
Decker give him a gain of 2.
Third down and 17.
Chase Brackney, the other inside tackle, with the tackle. That is going to bring up 3rd and 16 for the Spartans. But the track surface, the district had been patching up for years, so the investment in the entire new stadium for field of play, much needed. Becker steps up away from pressure, throws his first interception of the year, and returned all the way down to the 20-yard line. That is Angelo Petrides with the interception, and he sets the Bruins up with their second drive from the 21-yard line. Late throw across the middle, intercepted.
You know, and we talked about that being a young quarterback, you got to be able to read through that defense.
Bunch trips to the right. Now Flair the back out in motion. Roll it out to the right, flip it out to Hollies. Hollies makes a nice cut inside, and he'll be down all the way to the 5-yard line. 16-yard pickup. That reminds me a little bit of a student body right.
Yeah, and just a little swing pass. They had looked like they had a little zone blocking action going on there, and they just corralled them in on the inside.
Good execution by the Bruins on that play. Gives them a first. Now they spot the ball back at the 6. Give it to the right-hand side, or left-hand side, and into the end zone for the second score.
I don't see
The
his
score is
number.
13-0. That is Carlson Tan.
With a 6-yard touchdown run.
Tan with the carry. Last year, Tan in 6 games played had 14 carries for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he notches his first touchdown of the 2021 campaign. Bowden on for the extra point. And this one couldn't get any straighter down Broadway, Brian.
Right down the middle.
4:06, so 2.5 minutes later after the interception, the Bruins are in pay dirt again.
And they capitalize on that drive, on the turnover. You know, that's really what you want. That, you know, Coach Logan, I'm sure he talks about that. That's what we want. We get a turnover, we need to capitalize on that. And that's what the Bruins did there. And you know, like we talked about earlier, Doherty really just needs to get that push up front. And we'll see if they can correct that as we move on.
'23-game win streak, back-to-back defending state champions are the Bruins.
You know, and really, you know, talking with Coach Hale at school, he just wants his team to be competitive and work hard all the way to the end. You know, he knows he's going up against the defending state champs. He'd love to get a win, but, you know, you come out here, you want to just compete and play hard.
And another touchback, the third of the day.
First and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Barry, that kick went a good 60 yards, 65 yards into the end zone.
The last time I saw a kicker that effective that comes to mind was Carlson, who's kicking now for the Raiders, was drafted by the Vikings out of TCA here in Colorado Springs.
Yes,
He had a similar leg, and it got him a college scholarship and a trip to the pros.
Yeah.
So it's a skill and it's a skill that needs to be developed by a lot of teams. So 1st and 10 for the Spartans from the 20 once again. There is a whistle to start play. 2 receivers to the right. Mercer in at the fullback position, or the tailback position now, trying to get a little bit bigger body size than Herrera. And Mercer helping Chase Brackney up. Brackney making the tackle. Gain of 4 by Mercer. Mercer stays in the backfield behind Becker. 3 receivers to the right. This time the Bruins are waiting for Mercer up the middle. Brackney in on the tackle.
Second down rushes for no
Brackney
gain.
and
Brings up
Thomas
3rd down and
Fisher.
7 for the
I think
Spartans.
Fisher got there first, and then Brackney got the upper body and just had the push.
Yeah, they got him all the way around.
Loss of 1 on the play. So now 3rd and 7 for the Spartans. But this is the shortest 3rd down attempt Doherty has had on the early season. Let's see if they're going to be able to.
They're getting positive yardage this time. That's good.
Trips to the right. Throw it back to the left, off the hands, and incomplete. Going for Solomon Latimer. And the sophomore unable to make the grab. Latimer, I remember seeing him last year as a freshman. You can tell the kid's going to grow into something special. He made some great plays as a freshman last year. Unable to come up with the catch there, but pretty good coverage on that side by the Bruins defense.
Latimer, his dad played at Oregon. So he comes from some good stock. Over
the head of Mercer into the end zone, and it's stolen away. Will they call it the safety? No, it will be the touchdown. That's what I thought. Instead of just falling on it, Mercer trying to pick it up. And the Bruins are there for an easy one.
You know, you get that misstep and got to get kids to get over the top and just fall on that ball. It's kind of hard sometimes because they want to pick it up and run with it.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 35 seconds.
Marte Russell on the special teams play with the touchdown.
Thank you.
Kick up and good once again. So 2 turnovers for the Spartans have led to 14 unanswered Bruin points. And 21-0 is the score. 2:35 left to go in the first quarter.
You know, Coach Hale's they'll go back, they'll look at the film, and they'll figure out what they need to fix, and they'll improve each day and each game. So this is a good measuring stick for them.
And if you're Doherty, what do you say in the huddle, fellas? It's game 1. Let's work on stuff. And there's nobody better than defending state champions to work on it against. You know they're going to be ranked up top of the rankings the whole season long if you can make something happen against these guys, especially in the next quarter and couple minutes before we get to halftime. And I'm sure the substitutions are going to come hot and heavy here.
Yeah, I'm sure that, Coach Logan is going to he's going to sub, and he's going to get all of his kids some reps,
4 for 4 on the touchbacks today.
The end zone. 1st and 10 for the Spartans from the 20.
And I've always thought this was a conundrum, and you've coached basketball, which is a little bit different, but you've got a blowout like this. It's the first game of the season. It's like a preseason game.
It is.
You need
it
your
really
starters
is.
to get more time to build a little bit of an endurance, but you risk that against running up the score ridiculously.
Well, and that and potential injuries, and there's a lot of things that coaches are thinking about. You want them to get reps, but you also want them to be healthy.
Give it to Mercer, trying the right-hand side, and there is not a lot of room. Bracken gets off
Gain
the
of 1 on
field
first
with
down
Hank
brings up second down and 9 for the
Zielinskis,
Spartans.
the middle linebacker, actually the nose guard. And they put a stop to that after a gain of 1.
Second down and 9 here, Barry. Let's see if they go back to that slant that was open earlier.
Second and 9. 2 receivers to the right. Latimer split to the right. Fake it to Mercer. And Becker is in trouble, and he will go down. Good pursuit.
Gain of 2, third down and 7.
Blake Purchase with the hit.
Good open field by Blake.
You know, they run that little option play, right? And so it's a read play. So obviously he, read that the handoff wasn't there, and he keeps it. And the Bruins did a good job of staying in their lanes and keeping their assignments.
Disciplined football. So 3rd and 7 again, and flag on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 74, offense. Repeat, third down.
Hayden Miller, the left tackle, just a sophomore,
Brings up 3rd and 12 for the Spartans.
got an early start. So 3rd and 7 becomes 3rd and 12. Spread Latimer to the left side of your screen, and there's a false start by the sophomore.
False start, offense.
And this, if you're Dwight Hale and the coaching staff for the Doherty Spartans, you got to be careful that the kids keep their mind in the game.
Yeah, they just got to settle down. You know, it's early. They're young. They got to continue to play.
And there is a second timeout of the first quarter called by Dwight Hale, probably to just say the same thing. Okay, we know what the score is. Everybody does.
2 seconds left.
Let's settle down and just play.
Just play. You know, guys, let's just go play, be solid. We don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot and back ourselves up, right? Let's see what we can get going on the offense here, on the offensive end, and without penalties.
And this is the first of a doubleheader on this Friday night as we open the stadium. The second game following this one will be the longtime crosstown rivalry of Mitchell and Palmer.
That game, that'll be a great game. I think we're going to have a big crowd, and the 2 district schools coming out and playing to break in this field some more.
And somewhere in my notes here, it will be the 32nd meeting between those 2 schools. Mitchell with a dominant 25-6 advantage. Back to live action. Becker in trouble, rolling out to his right, and he is going to be corralled inside the 10-yard line. Loss all the way back to the 9. That'll bring up 4th and 20 for the Spartans. Mercer will step back into his end zone once again for the punt.
See if he can get it a little deeper this time. He was kind of rushed last time, so we'll see if he can get that punt off a little bit deeper and back the Bruins up a little bit.
Bruins are smelling blood here. They got to the last one to force the issue. This one kicked off the back of one of the Spartans, batted out, and it will be recovered by the Bruins, then coughed up and recovered by the Spartans at the 10-yard line.
After the punt attempt on 4th down, it'll be Cherry Creek ball first.
Cherry Creek ball
goal
first
from the
and
10-yard
10
line.
at the 10, or just outside the 10.
So 1st and goal again for the Bruins. Unfortunately, couldn't get that one off.
The Bruins have started, this is possession number 4, and they have started every possession in the first quarter in Doherty territory. The worst field position they've had has been the Doherty 38, and that was on the first drive. Hammond in, looking back into the right-hand corner, and incomplete.
First down pass at 10 falls incomplete. Second and 10 goal.
Kai O'Day, the intended receiver out there in the right corner. Incomplete, second and 10, or second and goal for the Bruins. Give it to Holly straight up the middle, untouched for 10 yards and the touchdown. Second touchdown of the day for Hollies.
And that was just good blocking by the Bruins. They all got out, fired off the ball, created a lane, and right up the middle.
So we have got 2 seconds left in the first quarter. And it is 27, about to be 28 for the Bruins, 0 for the homestanding Spartans. Bruckney on late, gets set on the left side of that line. Kick is up and good.
The extra point is good. With
4 for 4 on the touchbacks,
touchbacks,
4 for 4 on the extra point. That's a pretty good afternoon for Mr. Bowden.
And Javion Young almost, I think he got his fingertips on that one. He was in there just, if he could have got in there a second earlier, he would have got a hand on that ball. So being the score again, it is, you're playing against the state champs, defending state champions. And again, all coach, at this point, we just want to see kids compete. We want to see them get out there and get better each possession. So that's kind of, I'm sure, what Coach Hale's thinking about right now. Each possession.
And the pressure is really off of Doherty. Obviously, the game is a little bit out of hand. You can't play fearing making a mistake.
That's right. You just got to go out and play. And I'm sure that's what he's telling the kids. Have fun. Make it about doing something you like to do.
Winded is back for this kickoff. And Bowden again puts it to the back of the end zone.
Spartan ball, first and 10 from the own 20-yard line.
So again, let's see if they can, if Doherty can get something going on offense and get a little confidence here, Barry.
And I'm with you. Let's go back to some of the things we thought we could do early on that first drive. See if we can't connect on those.
And it looks as if this time they have some substitutions up on the line for Cherry Creek. So I think they can do a couple of things now.
And there is that quick slant intended for Latimer. Incomplete.
That brings us to the end of the first quarter.
And that is the last play of the first quarter. But it is all Cherry Creek, as you can see, 28-0. Their longest drive was 38 yards. Then they had the interception on Doherty's second drive at the Doherty 20. And then the high snap on the punt recovered in the end zone by Russell for the touchdown. And then the bad punt again by Doherty, recovered at the 10, and Hollis took it the distance there. Your scoring recap. And I hate to keep harping on it, but Doherty makes that first complete play, and if you just joined us, folks, Doherty won the opening coin toss, elected to receive. Touchback started them at their 20. They tried a little slant off the left-hand side on the receiver's hands with room to run behind the linebackers, and it was just missed on the completion, and that spelled how the first quarter went for Doherty.
It really did. And, you never know. That could have been a shift in momentum, a shift in the game. So you just never know.
So we've switched ends of the field. Now Doherty has the wind at its back. Latimer to the left. Give it off to Mercer. He's going to try the right side. And he will be ahead for a gain of 5 yards. Be second and 5 for the Spartans.
Nice little run there by Mercer.
And if you're Cherry Creek, you have got to keep your head in this one. Next week, Pomona. And then you play Chandler you're on the road to Chandler, Arizona. Then you come back for A West, then Regis, Cherokee Trail, Grandview, Arapahoe, Eagle Crest, and Smoky Hill. The pass over the middle, incomplete.
Pass falls incomplete, brings up 4th down for the Spartans.
And that Barry, I think he heard footsteps because he was wide open, had a chance to catch that ball. And that was
McLean, the flanker back.
Yeah. Came right out the middle. It was wide open. Good play call by Coach Hale there. I think, they've had a lot of open passes. Just got to catch that football. And again, I think it goes back to nerves. It's your first game. That was his first attempt to catch the football, so just got to be ready.
Punt formation rolling to the right is Mercer, and he's able to get the kick away this time. Takes a high bounce, and it will roll. And it will be down at the 21-yard line.
First and 10.
So now we'll have a chance to see Cherry Creek negotiate a little bit longer of a field, see if Doherty's defense can make a play with a few more yards at their back.
And again, they probably run the play, little swing passes, those types of things. That's Coach Logan's staple.
Out into the flat, incomplete at the 28-yard line.
Pass is completed, number 7, Cooper Pollard.
Pollard with the reception.
6 on the play, 2nd down and 4.
2nd and 4 after the gain of 6. And this is a unit that really needs a drive like this because they've had such short fields. It's hard to build your offensive continuity. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Give it straight up the middle. Big hole. Dancing his way to a seam and off to the races. 20, 10, touchdown, Cherry Creek.
Touchdown, Bruins.
Carlson Tan.
Number 17, Carlson Tan with the 72-yard touchdown run.
And I take that back. I think I had given Hollies the touchdown earlier. And Alex Rads on for the kicking duty now. And he's 1 for 1. 35-0 in favor of the 2-time defending state champion Cherry Creek Bruins. Just underway in quarter number 2.
And, that last drive for the Bruins, 3 plays and a touchdown. Doherty's defense, it's been that way almost every play. So I don't know that they've had any really good looks to see what is happening on the defensive end, right? So they're trying to figure that out as well at this point.
The teams did not play last year, but they played 2 years ago, and it was 45-6 Cherry Creek. As Doherty started the season 0-5, and there is another touchback. Number 6 for Bowdoin.
For the Spartans from their own 20-yard line.
So the Spartans will take over for the second time at the south 20-yard line. Now the front line defensive line is back in the ball game. Brackney, Fisher, and Zielinskis. Mercer sets to the left side of Becker now. Get off the right-hand side and nowhere to go. The trio previously mentioned met Mercer at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a loss of 1, 2nd and 11 for the Spartans.
Spartans having a hard time just getting any push from that offensive line.
Offensive or defensive lines, the battle of the trenches is definitely being won by the Bruins. Second and 11. Fumble, ball on the ground, loose. Recovered by the Bruins is the initial signal at the 18-yard line. Looked like a little bit of a broken play, and Becker having trouble hanging on to the football.
Looked like the line had good block that time, and the handoff maybe exchange was bad.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Bruins from the Doherty 19, already leading by the score of 35-0.
Look, another pass play.
Hammond is back, throws it. Second man out in the flat, touchdown.
It's like
just that quick,
Bruins.
One play, touchdown.
It's like the secondary had a little miscommunication there
with the touchdown reception.
on who needed to get the guy running the post route, or excuse me, the
Flag route.
flag route.
And they flooded that right side of the zone with the short and the deep man. The Spartans were on the short man, but the deep man got in over the top. And the extra point is up and good. And 8:25 of the second quarter, 42-0. And that will start a running clock. So the clock will not stop except for timeout or a touchdown for the rest of the game. I apologize on the delay for identifying the receiver for Cherry Creek there. It was Dawson Johnson, number 81 for the Bruins. The roster is set alphabetically instead of numerically.
And it's very large.
It's very large, yes. Well, I was talking with Jason Wilkins, the athletic director for Cherry Creek, before. They were having trouble. It was the last minute before the coaches told them which 65 of the 120 kids out for the program were going to travel to Colorado Springs to take on the Spartans today.
You know, as a coach, that's a pretty nice problem to have. But when you have a Hall of Famer as your coach, pro football player in the Hall of Fame, that's a good.
And another
get those kids
touchback.
out.
6 for 6 for Bowden to go with his 4 for 4 extra points. And the Spartans will once again start from the 20-yard line.
So for the rest of this 6 minutes, the clock will run.
Until halftime, we'll have the stoppage for 15 minutes, and then we will get the kids rested up, stretched out. Out in the flat, complete, but caught at the 20-yard line and dropped.
2nd and 10 for the Spartans.
No gain.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Was trying to catch the number on the receiver on that side, but unable to.
For a guy like me, Barry, that's a long ways to see.
You didn't bring your binoculars.
I did not bring my binoculars today. It's the first game of the season.
Latimer splits left, 2 receivers to the right. Becker in trouble, scrambles out, now throws wide open over the middle, and incomplete. Breaking through is Connor Eggleston, the receiver. Becker under duress, could not set his feet and get it to him. But if he had, that would have been touchdown Doherty, as the coverage had broken on Eggleston. And he was unable to
get those feet down.
Unable to get the feet down, and that's the big thing, is the pressure.
And they're blitzing. They've been blitzing all game, or running a little twist with the defensive line. So
roll Becker out away from the trouble this time again. This time the pass is complete. First down of the game for the Spartans, out to the 39-yard line. And that was Eggleston with his first catch of the season.
And I think those plays are there. Once they settle in, I think they're going to be able to make those plays.
And it's not like you're going against a second string D for Cherry Creek. There may be a substitution here or there, but that front 3 that you're looking at, or actually the front 5,
they've been pretty
that's
consistent.
The starters. Fake the give to Herrera, and trapped in the backfield. Brackney again with the tackle.
And that goes back to the snap. The snap was high. Takes time to get that play going, and when you have a rush coming at you.
4 new linemen on the ball for Doherty. The only returner on that offensive line is Seth LaWalker Boise, the 6'4", 300-pound senior, the right guard. But otherwise, it's a continuity issue for that offensive line here in game 1. 2 receivers right, throw the slant to Latimer through his hands, and Latimer pays the price.
Again, got to get those feet down. Got to get that throw out there to Latimer, because the route is good, and he's getting open.
Jack Vestal with the tackle for the Bruins. We are down to 3 minutes and change before halftime. 42-0, Cherry Creek, running clock. Doherty with it, 3rd and 12 from the 37-yard line. Fake it and throw the little inside slant, and the connection was there again. J.J. Felix, that's the second time they've ran that identical play. Ball has been on his hands, and Felix has been unable to come up with the completion.
And that ball's coming in hot, because you're getting that pressure, and that ball has to come in hot, and you got to get that head turned around so you can get an eye on that football.
Good news for Doherty. Felix has been open on that play. Now Mercer in to do the punting. Able to catch it and get it away. Nobody back for Cherry Creek. This one will roll inside the 10 before it is down by the Spartans.
Punt is going to be down to inside the 10-yard line. Bruins will start with the ball, 1st and 10 from the 8.
So Cherry Creek will start at the 8-yard line.
Minute and 46 to go. 42 for Cherry Creek. And they get the ball back.
Bazzy Keaston with the touchdown on special teams. What chances do you take if you're Doherty's defense with the score and whatnot?
At this time we're just playing. So I'm going to, as a coach, I'm going to try some things, get kids familiar with things.
And that is motion in the backfield for Cherry Creek, and we have a new quarterback
False start.
under center.
Number 41. Half the distance to go remains first down.
That is
First and 14
Marte
for
Russell
the Bruins
in
from
at
the 4-yard
quarterback
line.
now. The battle in the preseason was between Hammond and Russell, and Hammond with the win there. Pass quick out to the side, complete out to the 13-yard line.
Passes complete to the
Gain
13-yard
of 5,
line.
bring up second
Brings up second down and 5.
and 5. Marte gets his play from Coach Logan and hustles back in. Ishmael Cece, the receiver, on that last play. Russell out into the flat, complete, and the sidelines with the spin inside.
Passes complete up to the 30-yard line. First and 10 for the Bruins.
And that's going to bring us to the end.
And that is the last play of the half with the score. The Cherry Creek Bruins 42 and the Doherty Spartans 0. We invite you to stick around for the halftime announcements. And join Brian Blanc and I for the second half right after this.
What makes Colorado Springs School District 11 the standout choice for excellence in education? Some may say it's a dedicated and talented staff who is devoted to the educational
entertainment
learning of our
Please
students.
welcome your
Others
Doherty
may
High
say it's the
School
award-winning
under the
learning
direction of
options
coaches
available to all
Katie
students,
Bowman
no matter
and
their grade
Linnea
level. Whether
Stanley.
it's online, hybrid, or in-person learning, D11 welcomes all learners to achieve excellence through diversity. Serving the unique needs of all students, we dare to empower our students to profoundly impact our world, and we stand ready to inspire every mind. There was a time not long ago, District 11 Media Production Services would roll their production truck to Garry Berry Stadium or to your high school gym and produce varsity sports. This team of dedicated staff members supervise student volunteers who are gaining hands-on experience producing high-quality televised events to the joy of family and community. But the technology being used was aging and also required a tremendous amount of manpower, making it difficult to cover all the sporting events involved in the school's many teams. Schools and their fans had to settle for the rationing of coverage, which did not sit well. Something had to give. Then the district found new technology that would restore the previous coverage and would allow for the expansion of the number of events that each school could produce. This new technology would empower student involvement in the planning and execution of the game broadcast like never before, highlighted by taking over the roles of producer, play-by-play announcer, and color analyst. All that is left is the recruiting and organizing of the student producers and announcers. You. Yeah, you!
The search is on for high school students, freshmen all the way up to seniors, who are looking for a new challenge. Students who envision a future where they will need sharp public speaking skills, or those who dream of being in the broadcast industry, and even those students who just like to talk. Does this sound like you? Are you ready to make the commitment to become the voice of your school's athletic teams? Contact me, Barry Reed, D11 broadcast announcer, to get more information. barry.reed@d11.org or my phone 520-2269.
So morning meeting is basically, so we come in, we go to the gym, we sit in our grade levels, and then when we talk with our friends for a while, students can sign up to do a specific job. And so one student does good things, another does lunch, one helps with the Pledge of Allegiance. After we do the Pledge of Allegiance, we start to go to our classrooms.
Good things looks like, first we start to get a little small stuffed animal. It's a Snoopy and a pumpkin, and we get to throw it around, and we say, does anybody have a good thing? And we throw it around.
Tell me something good.
My good thing is that today I got to my parents to Skid City.
My good thing is that yesterday I went to karate.
We interviewed a lot of schools before we came here, and I just was amazed at how much it mattered. The positivity of kids' experience and the support structures, and not thinking of kids as good and bad, but giving them a chance to grow. And that's what Capturing Kids' Heart has done for the school and for the kids.
Good morning, Anderson.
Well, a social contract is the teacher prints out a little piece of papers and we get to answer them, like, how do you want to be treated? And we write our names on top to show that we are going to promise that, and we are going to try to be as much as possible and try to show all of that to everyone in the whole community.
I enjoy being a social contract reader because when guests come in, I get to shake their hand and know their name and like get to know them a little bit better, and I get to show them what we do around the classroom and how we do it, and we just do a bunch of stuff around the classroom.
A launch is the teacher at the end of the day, she gives us a high five and she says, if it's Friday, she says, have a great week, but if it's just like Tuesday, she says, have a great day.
Is your student lost in the world of education, not really liking school? Achieve Online is a place for them. School for grades 6 through 12, and we strive first to build relationships, which in turn builds academics. We are unique and different from any other school. Flexible online and blended learning for students anywhere in Colorado. Take the next step and enroll today. Tragic events within our nation's schools makes us all aware of school security issues. We want to make sure you are safe and know what to do in case of any emergencies. Each school or building has an individual crisis plan that outlines emergency procedures. In addition, each school or building has a designated crisis team based on the Incident Command System. Emergency procedure drills are required to be completed in order to prepare students and staff for emergencies. Access control is one of the most important crisis prevention measures schools can take to help ensure the safety of students and staff. Visitors are required to sign in upon entering the school. All exterior doors should be locked, and access to the building should be limited to a main door. All district elementary and middle schools are equipped with video intercom, or intercom systems which allow the office staff to control access to the schools. High schools and middle schools have assigned security personnel who may assist in controlling access to the schools. Another very important measure that can be taken to ensure safety at schools is the vigilance of staff and students. Encourage students to report unusual events or strangers on campus to adult staff members. Staff members should be aware of strangers on campus and unusual events that occur. Today we are going to educate you on some procedures that you need to know, but hopefully will never have to use. At any time, schools might be faced with emergency situations that put students and staff in a position that requires specific procedures that will help them ensure the safety of everyone. Today we want to emphasize the importance of staff and student action with 5 very important emergency situations. These 5 emergency procedures are hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. Each of these procedures will be initiated with an announcement over the public address system. In an evacuation situation, everyone must evacuate. On-site students will evacuate to the designated on-site location. Secure is a safety procedure that occurs when there is a threat in the community, but not on school grounds. During secure, staff should return students inside, lock the outside doors, and increase situational awareness. The school will remain insecure until the police department has determined that the incident off school grounds is no longer a threat to the school. The third and most critical procedure is a lockdown. A lockdown is used in an emergency situation that occurs when there is an imminent threat to the safety and welfare of everyone inside the building. An announcement over the public address system will be made indicating that we are in a lockdown. All teachers have been informed of their procedures, so it is extremely important that students follow the commands and the instructions that are given over the public address system. During a hold, staff should clear students from hallways to classrooms or other lockable areas, closing and locking the door, then accounting for students and adults. Staff and students should do business as usual and wait for the all clear to be announced. The most likely occurrence of a shelter would be in case of a tornado or hazardous material spill. Students should follow their teacher's lead. Tragic events in our nation's schools have escalated the importance of school security and the importance in educating students and staff so that everyone knows what to do in each situation. The safety and welfare of every one of our students and staff is a priority. Nestled in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains at the base of Pikes Peak is Colorado Springs, home to 5 military installations, the Olympic Training Center, many thriving colleges, fine arts venues, and School District 11, who created specialized education for gifted learners in the 1950s. At Colorado Springs School District 11, our gifted students become the creators, problem solvers, and innovators of tomorrow. District 11 is the largest school district in Colorado Springs, providing families with many different, personalized gifted options. Given the choice of program options and opportunities that District 11 schools provide, there is a perfect fit for every gifted, talented, and high-achieving learner in the Pikes Peak region. We offer successful, safe, and purposeful learning experiences. We have qualified staff that recognizes exceptionality in academic and talent areas, identifying students as young as kindergarten. K-12 programming includes Gifted Magnet, International Baccalaureate, Montessori, Accelerated and Honors options, a career and technical track, and Junior ROTC, just to name a few. We believe that gifted students need an outlet to express their creativity and to collaborate with other like-minded learners. When gifted students are not satisfied with what they're learning, they lose creativity that could potentially solve problems and change the world. An identified gifted student expressed learning this way.
Gifted classes give students like me who think differently a way to learn that fits our brain.
Gifted has no boundaries in Colorado Springs School District 11. To find out more about all we offer gifted students, visit us at www.d11.org/GT.
So the why behind becoming a school counselor, it's kind of a large topic, but I think I was always a sensitive kid, and that used to be a flaw for me. But I found my niche in working with kids, and that my heart for others and my empathy really served me well in this role. And I kind of dabbled in like camp counseling and doing all those fun things, and then I started to notice I really took to the kids that were having a harder time. But the cool thing about kids is their resiliency. So one of the things that I really grew from was doing a summer camp, a grief camp. And there was a combination of just like so much fun, but so much grief and challenge. that really propelled me into going into a helping profession.
Rachel, to me, is one of the great counselors that are out there because she has a heart for kids. She really works hard with kids. She listens. She's very compassionate, but then she turns around and holds them very accountable for their actions and what they're doing, but she does it with a very kind heart.
So anyone that has a chance to even spend 5 minutes with Rachel will realize that she is really something special. She is so smart. She builds great relationships. She's so skilled at what she does as a counselor. And one thing I've always said since I've met Rachel is she has everything that any school counselor would want to be. But it's not that she can just do those things as a school counselor. I really believe that's who she is as a person. And she carries that into every aspect of our school.
Some things that come to mind when I think about Rachel are the feedback that I get from parents and from kids and from staff members here. She's very approachable. She's very likable. People trust her, and she has quickly become one of our go-to people in the building because she's reliable. And that people know that her heart is in it for kids, and that goes a long ways.
I think it takes a village to raise a kid, and so, whether that's, and kids are mostly at school, so if we have teachers who are operating from a place of their hearts, and we have school counselors who can catch some of the struggles that can't be caught in a classroom, but then if we also have some stakeholders in the community that are really pushing for what we do, we can make a world of difference. But another thing another group of people I would like to thank in this profession is the kids. I learn something new every single day from one of my kids. So it's just a really powerful experience to be able to work with them. And middle school is such a fun age.
There was a time not long ago, District 11 Media Production Services would roll their production truck to Garry Berry Stadium or to your high school gym and produce varsity sports. This team of dedicated staff members supervised student volunteers who were gaining hands-on experience producing high-quality televised events to the joy of family and friends and the community. But the technology being used was aging and also required a tremendous amount of manpower, making it difficult to cover all the sporting events involved in the school's many teams. Schools and their fans had to settle for the rationing of coverage, which did not sit well. Something had to give. Finally, the technology within the production truck failed. Just updating the truck's equipment would not solve the problem of rationed coverage. The search for a solution intensified, hoping a suitable remedy could be found. An entire year was lost. The ultimate solution would allow for an expansion of coverage for all schools involved. Then the district found new technology that would restore the previous coverage and would allow for the expansion of the number of events that each school could produce. This new technology would empower student involvement in the planning and execution of the game broadcast like never before, highlighted by taking over the roles of producer, play-by-play announcer, and color analyst. All that is left is a recruiting and organizing of the student producers and announcers. You.
Yeah, you!
The search is on for high school students, freshmen all the way up to seniors, who are looking for a new challenge. Students who envision a future where they will need sharp public speaking skills, or those who dream of being in the broadcast industry, and even those students who just like to talk. Does this sound like you? Are you ready to make the commitment to become the voice of your school's athletic teams? Contact me, Barry Reed, D11 broadcast announcer, to get more information. barry.reed@d11.org or my phone 520-2269. What makes Colorado Springs School District 11 the standout choice for excellence in education? Some may say it's a dedicated and talented staff who are devoted to the educational learning of our students. Others may say it's the award-winning learning options available to all students, no matter their grade level. Whether it's online, hybrid, or in-person learning, D11 welcomes all learners to achieve excellence through diversity. Serving the unique needs of all students, we dare to empower our students to profoundly impact our world, and we stand ready to inspire every mind.
And we are back to Gary Berry Stadium. Brian Blanc, Barry Reed, bringing you the action here in week 1 from Gary Berry. And Brian, there wasn't much that went wrong for Cherry Creek in the first half. We've had a running clock since the 8:35 mark, I think it was, of the second. And the two-time defending state champs are showing why they are the two-time defending state champs.
They are. They're getting after it. They're firing on all cylinders. I'm sure they're not where they want to be right now, but for game 1 purpose, I'm sure they're happy with their performance right now. And we're going to see if Doherty comes out and makes some adjustments. I'm sure there was adjustments made on both sides coming out of halftime, and we'll see how the second half progresses.
Cherry Creek had one drive that started of their 5 possessions that started in their own end of the field, and that was at the 22-yard line. The rest of the possessions, including the opening possession, was at the Doherty 38.
Right, and they had the one long field possession, and it only took them three tries to get a score.
And Doherty will kick off here in the second half. The kick comes down short and will be fielded out close to the 30-yard line.
Not bad coverage on that. The kick didn't go very far, but gave up maybe 10 yards on that. Not bad.
So 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Second longest field position that the Bruins have faced today. Jordan Huron with the kick return for the Bruins. Hammond back in at quarterback. Throws the curl route complete at the 40, still dancing around. And finally brought down at the 42-yard line. It'll be a gain of 12. That is Kai O'Day with the reception for 12. First down for the Bruins as they continue to roll here.
Good job by the Bruins there at that time with the pass protection. He was able to set his feet and get that throw off.
Christian Hammond sends 3 to the left. He'll throw it back to the right for O'Day. This one comes in a little bit high and incomplete. Mercer was in coverage.
Nice coverage by the Spartans there. They had 2 guys around the ball, and J.J. Felix getting that done.
Yeah, they had a nice little triangle triple coverage around O'Day. So 2nd and 10. And a new quarterback in for the Bruins.
Like man defense for the Spartans.
And the handoff to the right side is going to lose a couple yards.
Good push by the front line defense that time. Set him back for a loss. Nice work for Spartans.
Bo Cohan in for Cherry Creek now. Number 11. He'll make his way back in from Coach Logan to the Bruins huddle. And timeout called by the Bruins. Got some younger players in there now.
And probably just a timeout, get things organized for these young guys for the Bruins. And
trying to keep everybody in line. You got kids that probably weren't expecting to get much playing time.
Right, and now they're going to be out on the field. And this kind of game for Coach Logan, Barry, he's going to get to see a lot of his personnel and see if he has any surprises out there.
That, and with the younger kids, it bodes really well for later down in their careers.
Right.
If you've got a sophomore that you can get playing time in a game like this, that's only going to bode well because they will learn the system that much more.
Yes. You get those opportunities to play against those varsity kids.
That's the way you, instead of rebuilding, it's reloading the whole time.
And from the looks of it, it looks like Cherry Creek is reloading again this year.
Oh, it looks like they are totally loaded and ready to go. Third and 10. 3 receivers to the left side for Cherry Creek. 1 receiver right. Throw it to the right-hand receiver. Incomplete. Good coverage out there by Felix.
Felix got his hand in there and knocked it right to the ground.
That was Brennan Smith, number 83, with the intended receiver. Paige Bowden on to do the punting duties. Gets a good kick away. This one is going to be down by the Bruins inside the 5-yard line at the 3 for the Spartans. That will be the starting field position. And I apologize to Bowden Page. I've been calling him his first name as his last name for the entire first half. I was misreading the roster we got from Cherry Creek. So my apologies to the whole Page family.
What a good job by the defense there, the Spartan defense. They got their first stop. See if
And
that can
now
carry over to the offensive end.
Fresh set of legs for the Bruins on defense. Against the Spartans offense, give it to Herrera straight up the middle. And that'll be the best run of the day for the Spartans.
Like about a 6-yard gain on that play.
From the 3, that was
Gain of
Marquez
7.
Herrera. From the 3 all the way just outside the 10. So gain of 7, bring up 2nd and 3.
This little dive play there by the Spartans.
And in trouble and going down with the sack back at the 5-yard line. Maxwell Parrott with the tackle. This is a team last year that had 28 sacks. And they graduated 21 of those sacks, but obviously there's kids coming up behind them that know exactly how to do it.
Yeah, and he came right up that gap.
Now in the end zone again, throwing for Latimer, and that one bounces off the chest of Solomon Latimer, incomplete. And it will be 4th and 8 from the 4-yard line.
Solomon, if you notice that play, he looked back to see where that defender was right before the ball got to him. He needs to keep his eyes on the ball and catch that pigskin. He has a first down.
So for Maxwell Parrott, that looks to be sack number 1 on the year, and he is not one of the returning players that had one carryover from last year. So first sack of his career. Short kick by Dylan Mercer, and it will spin out of bounds about the 33-yard line. And Cherry Creek will have it once again, leading 42-0, 5:12 and counting left in the third quarter. We have a running clock due to the 40-point plus advantage by Cherry Creek. The opener for both of these schools here in the 2021 season. The Bruins, the two-time defending state championship, looking for a three-peat. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Hand off to the right-hand side, now cut up. And a good strong run inside the 25, pickup of 7.
Zone read play.
Sam Pesdirtz, the senior. Second and 3 now. New running back spinning his way for the first down to the 21.
If you watch what those guys are doing up there, Barry, they're running that little zone read. They're just coming down the line looking for a hole, and then they pop right up that seam.
29 was Stephen Kim on the carry before that. A little bit changed in the two rosters we have that we're trying to coordinate with. Two receivers to the right. Stop the play. Flag on the field against Cherry Creek.
False start, number 63, offense, remains first down.
So back them up 5, make it 1st and 15 for the Bruins. Hand off to the near side. And picking up 6 on the play down to the 20. Bring up 2nd and 9.
In the second, brought down to the 20-yard line. 2nd down and 10.
Back up to the line of scrimmage here for the Bruins.
And Brian, this is the part in these blowout games that is horrible because all the substitute players. Michael Kim with the carry, number 41.
You're trying to read off a 65-player roster there.
Exactly. And once again, must have been movement. They'll back the Bruins up 5 more. So Stephen Kim in the backfield now. Stephen is 29, Michael is 41.
False start, 63. Offense, 5-yard penalty remains 2nd down.
Grant Gustafson is not going to enjoy film session tomorrow, I get the feeling. Two receivers to the right. Peel off left with the throw. Great timing, breaking it up for the Spartans. Is that Dylan Mercer? It was.
Almost with the interception.
If
Good
he'd have
break
been a
on the
second
ball.
sooner, I think he'd have had it.
Yeah, good, nice break on the ball. Got his hand in there. It brings up 3rd down for the Bruins.
Coheed in now with a 3rd and 14. Out, ball on the ground. Spartans on top of it.
Looks like the Spartans may have that one. That's what the
Waiting
players
for
are
the
saying.
official signal. And they do. So the first
Spartans recover.
First turnover created by the Spartans on just a little dive up the middle.
Yeah, they
Hit the
Spartans,
running back and he coughs it up.
and the Spartans come up with the play. And now if they can execute, we talked about the Bruins executing on turnovers in the first half. Let's see if the Spartans can do the same.
Inside of 10 seconds to go in the third. I don't think we're going to get the play off. The Spartans don't lick in a hurry, so we will flip the ends of the field here. We have played three at Garry Berry Stadium on the opening weekend, and the Cherry Creek Bruins lead big 42-0 over the Doherty Spartans. And if you're tuning in from the Denver area, specifically the Cherry Creek area, or anywhere around the world on the Doherty YouTube stream, welcome to Colorado Springs and Garry Berry Stadium. Thank you so much for tuning in.
The power of the internet. What a great thing. You know, if you're overseas watching this, you know, thanks for coming in and seeing what we have to offer and checking out this football game and hanging out with Barry and I tonight.
Getting a brand new look at the new silver and black field that will be dedicated between this and the second game, which is Palmer and Mitchell. But the players and the uniforms pop off this field a little bit better in the day than the old green field used to. I wasn't sure about it, but I'm really growing to like it.
Yeah, I like it. I wasn't sure about it when I saw it at first either, but it looks. I really am growing. It's growing on me. I like it.
And the officials holding up play now.
I think they were waiting for the clock to get set.
And we are underway with the fourth quarter. Becker rolls out to his left. Heavy pursuit. And that ball is going to be incomplete.
First down passes.
And good decision there. You know, he didn't throw it into traffic, threw it over the top of his receiver. Lived to play another down.
Good pressure there from the backup linebacker for Cherry Creek. That is Jake Howell, number 40. Two receivers to the left. Throw it out in the flat, complete. And ridden immediately out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It'll be a short gain of, we'll call it 4.
Nice little play there. 4 yards at a time will get you a first down.
Logan Hutch, the sophomore. Big, tall, lanky wide receiver. Bring up 3rd and 7. Now they'll spread the two receivers to the right. Latimer to the left side. Latimer breaks open, but Becker unable to find him under pressure. So Becker keeps it, and he'll be across the 40-yard line. That'll be a first down as he carries it out to the 41-yard line of the Spartans.
That's one thing he can do is pick up some yards with his feet. Little scramble play. Good decision again. You know, Latimer may have broke open, but he was going to have to throw that ball across his body to make that happen. And good decision to pick up the first down for the Spartans.
Becker rolling out. Good coverage out in the
first down pass falls incomplete.
Flat intended for Latimer.
Again, the passing plays have been open all game. I think if they just continue to work on that, Spartans are going to have something special with their passing game.
Well, we know that the competition can't get any worse today, but it doesn't get a whole lot better. As next week it is Thunder Ridge. And that'll be here at Garry Berry Stadium. Herrera straight up the middle, making a couple players miss.
Thunder Ridge, then Pomona. And then they get to play local Fountain Fort Carson, over to Roston Valley, and back to Douglas County. or Douglas County back here at Gary Berry.
But if you want to be the best, you got to play the best.
You couldn't have said it any better. That's what you have to do, and that's how you get better every week.
And a big tackle for loss.
Down for no gain. Brings up 4th down for the Spartans.
4th down for the Spartans. Hayden Treater, one of the defensive linemen in there now in the substitution, playing on the left side. Spartans up with a 4th and 5. Need the 49 of Cherry Creek for the first down. 2 receivers left. Becker signals towards Latimer. Steps up in the pocket, now throws it late. It was almost interception time for Treater.
Turnover on downs, 1st and 10 for the Bruins from the.
And turnover on downs, but a dangerous pass there. And there's a case where Becker looked to be looking, and he talked to Latimer
at
the pre-snap, and then he was looking right. Latimer was open on the quick slant. But when you're looking off the defenders, it's tough to get there quick enough.
It's tough to get there quick enough, yeah. And Latimer made a good break, and then Becker scrambles off, and he looked like he was open, and unfortunately got tipped at the line.
So another possession for Cherry Creek in Doherty's end of the football field, and another new quarterback in for Cherry Creek. Ball on the ground again, but covered up by the Bruins.
Little struggle here with the handoff.
There's a gain of 1 in the play. 2nd down and 9.
And those things are going to happen when you're changing quarterbacks, and it's good for these young kids to get some reps.
Aurelio Marichal, the quarterback now for the Bruins. Offset eye. Receiver left, receiver right. Give it to the right-hand side. Breaking a tackle. Ball loose. Picked up by the Spartans. And that should be recovered in bounds, and it is. So the second turnover by the Bruins. After a big gain, just getting a little sloppy with the ball handling.
Got to keep that ball wrapped up. Had that ball swinging out there a little bit, and Spartans got to that ball and popped it right loose.
We have 5.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 4, week 1. And Cherry Creek will win game number 24 straight. Their last loss was 3 years ago in the state championship to Valor Christian.
Valor Christian.
Their nemesis, the team they beat for the state championship last year.
And it seems to be those two almost every year going for that state title.
Becker back in, throws a pass.
First down pass is complete.
And it was complete. Great on the shoulder catch. Circa Shannon Sharp for the Broncos against the Steelers in the AFC Championship.
That's what that one looked like, yeah.
It looked like he pinned it right on the shoulder blade on the back shoulder.
It's good for an 8-yard gain.
2nd and 2 now for the Spartans. And this has been the case in so many of the recent games with Cherry Creek, is that the Spartans will drive down for a shutout avoiding touchdown against the backups. Becker steps up, and he is going to go down, and that'll be a loss.
Becker is tackled in the backfield. Loss of 3 on the play.
Getting up, clapping his hands, number 90 for the Bruins. And that is
Matthew
Pointer.
Pointer, okay.
So now it is 3rd and 4 for the Spartans. Becker in trouble again. Little shuffle pass to Mercer. And Mercer is ahead across midfield and the first down.
Dylan Mercer, gain of 10 on the play. First down Spartans on the 44-yard line.
And with the relentless pass rush that these Bruins had been able to put on here today, you got to go with the screens, draws, or shuttle passes just like that.
Sure, draw that defense in, get them in, and
let them over pursue and use it against them.
Yep.
First and 10 for Doherty, 44-yard line of Cherry Creek. Fake to Mercer, throw it out in the flat to Latimer. I believe it was deflected out there, but I'm not sure. But Latimer getting on top of it just in case it wasn't touched.
We'll see where they place that. Okay, they're going to place it back at the line of scrimmage. So
that was tipped. And that is Hayden Treater. Big 79 on that left end, getting a paw on it, causing the deflection.
Got to be careful with that, because if they pass it backwards, it's a live ball.
And that's why it was crucial that it got tipped. Becker back, throwing down over the middle. A lot of contact there. And no flag comes out.
Pass falls incomplete.
And I think that's probably a good call.
A lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic down in there. Approaching 2 minutes.
Score 42-0 with the Spartans on a drive. Maybe they can get on the scoreboard.
Mercer behind Becker. Latimer split to the left-hand side, roll out to this side. It's complete. And driven out of bounds about the 33-yard line. That'll be a yard enough for the first down.
33-yard line, first and 10 for the Spartans.
And that was Connor Eggleston with the completion. Eggleston had the wide open pass that was thrown a little bit too far in the first half.
Right, and
Becker couldn't get his feet down to take the time scrambling.
And you know, Eggleston, he picked up about 4 or 5 yards after the catch, and you know, that's what you're looking for. Nice little cushion there. He was able to pick up some yards after the catch and pick up that first down for the Spartans.
Well, the good news, if you're Cherry Creek, you got out healthy. We didn't see any injuries. A nice warm day like today in the lower 90s, upper 80s. Usually we see a lot more cramping.
Yes.
But we've been able to hear the coaches through the upper windows saying, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
And that's the key when it's hot out. And make sure those kids are hydrating and coaching staff right on top of it.
1:19 left to go following the timeout. Mercer will stand at the 40 behind Becker. 3 receivers to the right. Latimer to the near side of the field on the left. Roll out looking for protection, but Cherry Creek sends more than you've got to protect. Nice leaping catch on the far side, but well out of bounds.
Second down and 10 for the Spartans from the 33.
Clock is running.
Defense, defense,
60 seconds left in the ball game. Spartans trying to break the shutout. Pressure coming, and there is that screen to Mercer. And a little bit hot for Mercer. It will fall incomplete, bring up 3rd and 10.
Good coverage by the Bruins there on the screen.
Timeout taken again by Dwight Hale as he's trying to get some kind of points here on the scoreboard. 42 and a half seconds.
This is Doherty's second timeout of the second half with 42 and a half seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Again next week for Cherry Creek. They will be home. The home opener against Pomona. And that'll be on the 3rd. And the Spartans next week will take on the take on Thunder Ridge, the Grizzlies. That will be here at Garry Berry Stadium on the 2nd. And again, we invite you to, at the end of this one, well, about 7:30, because this one's going to get over a lot earlier than we anticipated. 7:30 is the start time for Palmer and Mitchell. That will be on the Palmer Athletics webpage, CSSD11_Palmer. And you will be able to pick up the coverage there. Brian and I will be back doing double duty today. Hopefully
we'll
the
get to see
voices will hold out.
I think so. I think we'll be all right. I will get to see the field under the lights for the first time.
That's going to be the interesting thing for me, to see the difference in play under the lights. High snap back to Becker. Becker in trouble again. And he will go down back to the original line of scrimmage, taking away the sack.
Good coverage there by the Bruins secondary.
We are probably on the 3rd or 4th team defensive line, to be sure, and they have gotten as much pressure today as the starters were able to get. Doherty takes its 3rd and final timeout here, but Matthew Pointer with the pressure. I was looking for his pressure mate here on the roster.
Barry, I sure am glad you're having a look through that.
Looks like 56 Jack Hutner.
Yes, it was 56.
56 Jack Hutner putting the pressure on. And that's going to bode well. The coaches are going to see that in the film session, because Doherty's got the majority of their first string offense in, trying to avert the shutout.
Right.
And you're able to apply pressure. And that was the problem the coaches were talking about, and the AD was, Jason Wilkins was talking about before the game. Cutting down to 65 to travel. There's so much talent on this team. Latimer with the catch. Still spinning away, breaking tackles. Finally, it takes about 5 Bruins, but they get him pushed out of bounds, and going to be a gain of.
Not enough for a first down.
And that was, I think that was 4th down. And that is the final play of the game. A 1-yard game for the Spartans as the teams make their way to the middle of the field. But so much talent on this Cherry Creek team that you got to pick the top 65.
Yeah, that's quite the feat.
And I remember, we won't say how many decades ago, but Lawson, Mitchell, Palmer, we all had that same deal. You got to be top 65 to make the bus to go to Pueblo.
Yes, and it's
very tough.
You know, it's
for
tough.
Brian Blanc, I am Barry Reed. Thank you so much for the tune in, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. If you tuned in from the Denver area around Cherry Creek, we hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got here for the first half. For the second half, Coach Logan called off the Dogs, and we stayed at 42-0. And that is our final here in Week 1 of the 2021 football season for the 5A ranks. The number 2 ranked Bruins. I still don't know how that happens. You're ranked behind the team you beat in the state championship last year. But that's for other experts than us. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good luck to the Bruins the rest of the season, and we will see the Spartans down the line. Thank you so much, folks, and have a great afternoon.